Hey, good afternoon, Patriots. This is Becky Williams live on Rage Against the Regime podcast. It's a lovely afternoon here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. We've had a little bit of rain. It looks like it's passed us by, and I expect that the Black Panthers and the Nation of Islam will once again be out in the streets since the rain has passed in the McKinney, Texas area, followed by generations of degenerate black protesters protesting the incident that occurred at Craig Ranch subdivision on Friday afternoon. A couple of things come to mind. Number one, it's time for us to rise up, not just the whites, but the black conservatives that are not on the bandwagon with these radical thug idiots like Al Sharpton and the Black Panthers and Nation of Islam and the little thug master herself right out of Chicago living in Texas who orchestrated the entire event that took place in McKinney on Friday. I would invite anybody to look Tatiana up, the organizer for the flash mobbing of a private subdivision pool with all these little thug monsters that attended being called out to the pool party by the Thug Master's accomplice, which was a DJ. I'll get that information and pull it up for you so that you have the DJ's name and Tatiana's name. Of course, the little whodunits decided that they would, scrub their accounts and any evidence from Facebook and social media. But that information is out there. People screenshot it before they could scrub their account. So, a couple of things are going on here. I've called for a protest, or if you will, just an opposition march, show of force by numbers, not by violence. It has been brought to my attention by another patriot who was spreading that word from a militia group, Zone 8, right here in Dallas, Texas, that they don't agree. One, let me give you some names. I have to pull it up. It's pretty disturbing. I'm actually in Zone 8, and if you guys are going to claim your right to be a regulated militia or an organized militia in the state of Texas, go ahead and make sure that your credentials have been listed with the government of Texas first and foremost. Being a keyboard warrior and organizing a meet and greet or daily roll call on a Facebook application or page or group does not make you a militia group. Nor does just going out and training now and again make you a militia group. First of all, look up what your responsibilities are. If you're going to claim that title, then you need to be well informed of what your role is, what your responsibilities are, and be ready to act, not like a bunch of little cowardly pussies on a keyboard. Okay? And I say that for this reason. I'm going to read you what I actually put out today for us as patriots. We need to respond. First of all, we don't want to see another Baltimore-Ferguson incident here in Texas, which is what we're experiencing. Al Sharpton and the Black Panthers, we all know, have called for the death of whites and police officers across the country, are now in my state. I'm not good with that. This was an orchestrated event by a little pig out of Chicago who's here in Texas, who, if for lack of a better terminology, is a ghetto whore, who creates these events. So this is called Flash Mob Pool Event that these little thugs across America are trending on right now. This is not the first one, but it was an orchestrated event. The event took place on Friday in McKinney, Texas at a subdivision pool party that was not only a private pool area with restrictions as to how many numbers a guest or a homeowner could have as a guest at the pool, being the number two people. More than 130 thugs were dropped off by the carloads. When confronted at the pool area by the security guards for their pass to get into the pool, they decided it was time to take what they wanted, and they started jumping the fence and becoming violent. They were smoking weed, vandalizing cars, throwing bottles, drinking, assaulting the homeowners that were already there at the pool. The majority of the people that showed up for this little thug fest were black. Unfortunately, as it always goes, you know, the poor downtrodden black people, oh my God, we're just targeted. Well, you know what? Get your smug-ass little monster, thuggy children in check and teach them respect. They didn't belong at the pool party, and this falls on you, the parents of those little monsters, who, by the way, now are obtaining attorneys because they've been so mistreated. First of all, they were trespassing. They weren't invited by a homeowner. Tatiana's mother is a homeowner, I understand, in that particular subdivision, and they broke all the rules according to the Homeowners Association as far as guidelines, and I'm hoping that they foreclose on her home and throw her out because her daughter is a 20-year-old troublemaker is what she is. She's a little thug monster. Who, by the way, attacked one of the homeowners there who happened to be white. But let's just go there. So here's what happens. All these little thugs come up. They have no respect for property. They have no respect for authority. And they challenge the police officers that were called to remove them. Now, not only did the black homeowners call the police department, and there is proof of that, to have them removed, but also the whites, which is their right because they're homeowners. Regardless of your color, you have the right to have trespassers removed from your property. Let me give you a for instance. I live in a subdivision and a house. We have a private pool. That's right. It's called private because it belongs to the homeowners inside of this property grounds. We have to follow the rules and the regulations. A month ahead of time, I gave notice that my black grandson was going to turn 1. He's my god grandson. I raised his mom. The majority of the people who showed up to his birthday party, which I planned 1 month ahead of time at my pool, were black. They were his daddy's side of the family. Now, they showed up. They acted respectful. They didn't do anything at all that went against respect for me or my position as a homeowner in this subdivision. And I have one black person in 62 houses that live in my subdivision, some Hispanics, and I take that back. I think there's actually 2 black people in here, but we're very small. I think there's like 60 or 62 houses in my subdivision. And we don't have a racial problem here. 2 of my grandchildren are black. The other 3 are not. My ex, half black, half white. I didn't father any children with that person, or birth any children with that person. And then my godchildren are black. Okay? My son-in-law is black. So we don't have a racial issue here. So understand when I say thugs come in all colors. It just happens that the majority of the thugs that did this and keep doing this across America, this shit that they keep doing across America, is being orchestrated by the likes of Al Sharpton and Farrakhan and the Black Panthers and Obama himself and he's no longer the Department of Justice, was Eric Holder, but his replacement is doing the same thing. She's a little Muslim bitch who would be our Attorney General for the USA. So what we have here is we've got a bunch of Muslims and blacks who hate whites, hate America, in our administration, and they are funding the orchestrated program to destroy America and divide America. You're making my life miserable, you stupid son of a bitches, okay? And I'm not going to put up with it. You're assaulting my family members, all of them black and white. You're putting us all in danger at every angle, and you're pissing me off. While you sit behind your guarded gates with your armed guards and you travel in your luxurious surroundings on luxury jets and dine on the finest food, send your kids to school on our dime with private chefs, we suffer, okay? I'm sick of your shit. You're not a fucking king, Obama. Neither are you, Michelle. You're not a queen. You work for me. I'm your boss. And you're fired. We're coming. We're coming and we're going to put you in cuffs and we're going to take you to jail. And you're going to stand before your peers charged with tyranny and espionage. So we're coming because I'm tired of your shit and you're destroying America. And you're putting lives in danger and people are dying. Back to the point. So here's what we have. We've got a pool party. A bunch of little thugs show up. Have no business there. Trespassing. Vandalism. Violence. Assault. Underage drinking. Smoking weed. Doing what they damn well please, just like they always do, showing complete disrespect for the homeowners and for authority, and they got detained. Nobody got shot, nobody got killed, and these little crybaby bastards are out here getting attorneys to sue the city and to sue the homeowners association and the homeowners of the pool area. The whites are being threatened. Their lives were threatened just hours after the incident by these little thug bastards and others like them, that they would shoot up their homes and they would kill those white MFers, okay? Let me tell you something. This is a message to all you little thugs out there that made those threats. We're coming. I've already put the call out. Now I'm going to read to you what I put out for a call. And I know I'm a bit scattered, but this is not scripted, so let me go ahead and go there. Here we go. Okay, it's reared its ugly head here in Texas. Alert, McKinney, Texas. Black Panthers, Al Sharpton, and a whole bunch of generational, degenerate black racists are trying to turn this into another Baltimore Ferguson, calling all patriots. Organize a counter march immediately. Check in here. I need everyone to get on your contacts and on your board. We need thousands, not 20, to show up with American flags and long arms if you choose to bring yours. This shit stops here and it stops now. Show America that Texas will not sit back and see the real racists destroying our cities. It's time to show the world we are more than keyboard warriors. FYI, they are chanting racial slurs, and they're also burning the American flag. Don't be baited, but don't run if you're confronted. We're also calling on our black brothers and sisters to join us in squashing the black racist / Islamic movement that is trying to destroy America. The only way we can completely combat the orchestrated regime is to stand in unity. Meet up outside of Craig Ranch subdivision. The time is now. The date is June 9th. It ends when we run them out. Bring your megaphones and your American flags. So I've got my brothers and sisters out there posting this up. So one of our people, Connie, goes to put this on Zone 8 militia page. And this is what they tell her. This is my zone. We do not need people showing up with weapons. If you're not in Zone 8, butt out. We have it under control. This is from Cameron Davis. He's the zone leader for this area. Okay, Cameron Davis, first of all, you're a fucking idiot. Second of all, you ain't got shit under control because you're not doing anything about what's going on. Period. So you shut your mouth and you set your dumb ass down because you're not meeting your obligations. If I can't depend on you to show up in numbers to counter against the Nation of Islam and the Black Panthers and Al Sharpton and this obvious orchestrated event in McKinney, Texas, that has destroyed a police officer's life for doing his job once again and threatening the lives of white America. And again, they made it racist. I didn't. I'm reporting the truth. Cameron, shut your friggin' mouth and sit down, because if I can't depend on you in a situation like this to stand up against this and not allow this to become a Baltimore Ferguson incident, I sure as hell can't depend on your little cowardly ass to show up and back me up whenever the fire starts. So you need to shut your mouth. For Heather, Heather also had some negative input. So let's go to Heather. Let's see. Heather Martin. Yes, I thought exactly the same thing, William Burdick. I don't know what William said because I didn't get that part. I know our patriot friend above has the best intention, but something smells off, quotation marks, about this tidbit being passed around. Laugh out loud. Heather Martin, shut your fucking mouth. You're nothing but a prepper who does absolutely zero but sit on your ass behind a keyboard. You show up for events to do couponing and prepping. Shut your friggin' mouth. If you guys are going to ridicule and criticize individuals like myself and Connie and Kent and, I don't know, about 100 others that are trying to organize this event to show a force of numbers, not violence, nothing in my post even promoted violence, we have the right to carry a long arm right here in Texas. And the Black Panthers show up with their weapons, so we can show up with our weapons too. So shut your fucking mouth. Shut up and sit down, get out of the way. If you're not going to be productive and you're not going to help deliver us or stop or squash an obvious orchestrated incident that could cause a serious issue, destroying McKinney, Texas, and burning people's houses down and cops being shot and lives being lost, shut up. Get the hell out of my way, because you're nothing but cowards. A bunch of pussies. Shut up. And Cameron, you don't own shit. You're in charge of Zone 8. Let me tell you something. That belongs to the people. You were just privileged enough to be given a task. Obviously one that is too big for you. So shut your mouth. And if you want to confront me on this, I'll be happy to listen to your bitching, crying, little whiny-ass pussy complaints. Shut up. Nothing angers me more than a bunch of people who want to ridicule efforts to make progress. You're part of our problem. You're the biggest part of the problem because you're supposed to be awake. You're supposed to be awake, educating, and eager to serve your fellow American. Nobody advocated violence. I didn't say be violent. In fact, I said don't let them bait you. However, if we're confronted, we're not going to run because we're not a bunch of pussies. We're patriots. Didn't say take your weapons in loaded. Said if you want to show up with your long arm, show up with it. We have that right here in Texas, in case you haven't noticed. We have the right to carry a long arm openly and loaded if we choose to in this state. So Cameron Davis, shut your pussy little mouth up and sit down. The only thing you're in control of is a keyboard. Heather, you just got yourself deleted from the loop. I've met you personally. I watch your post, and you need to shut up and sit down, because this is not a battle you want to start with Becky Williams. Now, for anybody that doesn't like this broadcast or the foul language in it, I really don't care. Sometimes I get into the carnal side of my person, and I'm just more than a little bit pissed off and angry. We have people like you stopping the efforts of people like myself and Connie to stop the movement of the black empowerment, kill Whitey, organize, orchestrate, kill the Popo, and burn cities down. Shame on you. Shame on you. One has to ask themselves this question. Whose side are you on? Who the hell are you really? You're not doing anything but sitting behind a computer. You're spineless. You won't get out to an event. You won't have a show of numbers. You won't back up a police department for doing their job, and you won't protect a city. Who the hell are you really? You're obviously not a militia group. And you're misguiding and misleading those that have shown up with goodwill in their heart to actually be a part of something. A patriot movement, a militia group, to form an organized front and to protect one another. So for Cameron Davis and Heather Martin, kiss my ass. You're disgusting, and you're a disgrace, and you're an embarrassment. And I would not want you in my camp if shit hit the fan. Because you're spineless. Now, here's what we got going on. We got this Tatiana girl. I'm going to invite anybody out there that can find any information on this little pig, this little thug, ghetto whore, to find out if she has any ties or contacts in Chicago to the black movement. Whether it be the Panthers, whether it be Al Sharpton, or any of the other thugs across the country, but in particular out of Chicago because that's where she's from. The DJ who set up camp next door that was blasting the vulgar, foul language and the foul lyrics that offended the parents of the small children that were at the pool that had every right to be there because they pay the homeowners association and they pay their house payment. They're the property owners that asked these thugs to leave, that came to invade their pool. Please send some information on those people to me because I'll be doing some more shows this week. I will be in McKinney at Craig Ranch tomorrow. Anybody that doesn't like this broadcast, you'll find me with my megaphone, and I'm more than happy to engage you in a conversation. More than happy. You'll find me at Craig Ranch. That's where people are meeting outside of the subdivision. We're there to not only protect the property owners, but to counter-protest the march and block the entry of that subdivision from the Black Panthers, Al Sharpton, and the ghetto-ass, generational degenerates in the black community that are going to show up and start screaming, oh, we've been targeted. You were targeted, my ass. It just happens that you continue this behavior in your culture of stupidity. And it is the black kids doing it. Listen, if Black Lives Matter so much to you, you better get your thugs in check. Because they better mean more to you than to turn them out on the street on me. Because when they assault me, I'll send them home to you in a body bag. So if your Black Lives Matter to you, and this goes for the white trash thugs that were involved in any of it, I'm telling their parents the same thing. If your children mean anything at all to you, you better get them in check. Because when they're unleashed on somebody like myself or another individual who understands the law and that stands your ground rights in the state of Texas, I don't love them like you do. I don't know them. I see them as a threat to me. I'll handle my own business. So you better get your punks in check and start being a parent, because you need to be held accountable for the actions of the thugs that you're unleashing on society, because you're too damn stupid and lazy to raise your children up to respect authority and respect other people and their property. Some of us out here are tired of this shit, and I'd be one of them. or I wouldn't be doing this broadcast. Now, for those who don't like the language, don't really care today, I don't have time to massage your little egos with, soft, simple, and sweet message. I'm putting it out there, and I'm angry, and when I'm angry, I cuss, and anybody that knows me knows that's where I go. I can't help it. It's what I do. I wish I could. I pray about it. But I'm not going to apologize for it. And if you can't handle my language and you don't want to be any part of listening to this show or any other, or you don't want to follow me, I don't care. I really don't care, because I'm going to get through this just like I always have without you. Now, if you understand my anger and you're on board with what I'm saying and you understand what I'm trying to get done to stop the madness and stop this racial crap in America, in particular in Texas right now, then I would appreciate it if you would share the post that has been posted up organizing the rally and the event. I do not advocate violence, and I am not advocating violence, but I am asking you to show up in numbers with the American flag and your mega horns and scream out scripture. I don't care. Just drown them out. Whatever you got to do. If you got to sing God Bless America, do it. Block the entrance so that those homeowners feel safe from these thugs that keep marching into that neighborhood and making threats on these people's lives. This has been Rage Against the Regime podcast. This is Becky Williams. I want to thank you for listening and share this with your friends.